Pastor Larry Dixon is about to celebrate his 39th year as pastor of Mount Moriah Baptist Church. Welcome, sir. We are certainly glad to have you tonight. Please come to the podium and provide the invocation for tonight's meeting.
First of all, I do want to thank you all for allowing me to come and to ask God's blessing upon your meeting. At this time, I'm going to ask you to be so kind to my head with a word of prayer. Heavenly Father, we come now in the name of our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ. We come, Heavenly Father, thanking you for this day. Thank you for the life, health, that you've given us, all of us that are here. And we ask you right now, God, to open our hearts and our minds that we shall be able to do that is pleasing in thy sight. We ask your blessings upon all that shall transpire here on tonight. It's in the name of our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ, we ask it all. Thank God. Amen.
Amen.
Thank you, sir. For our Pledge of Allegiance tonight, we are very fortunate to have Scoutmaster Don Daffron and Boy Scout Troop 27. As an Eagle Scout, it's always pleasing and a pleasure to welcome Boy Scout Troop to say the Pledge of Allegiance. This troop is just returning from their summer camp, formerly Camp Cherokee, now Trevor Reese Jones. So we would say welcome back. Don Daffron, the Scoutmaster, is the fourth Scoutmaster for Troop 27, which was established in 1946. And I had the pleasure of meeting him earlier this evening. I was not around in 1946, but I'm happy to say that I did know all the previous Scoutmasters of Troop 27, and it was quite a legacy to know him. Please come forward and lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance.
Pledge will be led by our senior patrol leader, Black Marker.
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Honor. On Texas flag, I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state, under God, one and indivisible.
Thank you, Troop 27. Item 4 on our agenda tonight is the consent agenda. Does anybody have any questions on the consent agenda? If none, can I have a motion for approval?
I move that we accept the consent agenda. Second.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, like sign. Thank you. Item number 5 is presentation to the City Council by members of the public. I do not have any cards. Do we have anybody here that wishes to address the council? Seeing none, let's move on to item 6. Item 6, public hearing and consideration of a request by Abdul Subhan for approval of a preliminary plat of Subhan Addition in the ETJ of the City of Commerce, Hunt County, Texas, to divide property ID 107285, legal description A0880, Rusk County School Land, Tract 14-2, acres 35.03, and property ID 107284, legal description A0880.
And so we have the ability to enforce our subdivision regulations out in that ETJ area. And so this is a development or a proposed development that is located where Culver Street dead ends into Highway 224. Then you see kind of where there's the bridge that goes over 224. And so it's on both sides of the highway. They're planning to subdivide all of that into approximately 18 lots. And they submitted their plat and subdivision proposals to Hunt County. Hunt County now has a program that looks at these projects in the unincorporated areas of the county. They satisfy the requirements of Hunt County, and they have satisfied the requirements of our subdivision ordinances. This is a preliminary plat. There is no city services being extended to these lots since it's outside the city limits, but they do meet our requirements in terms of lot size and accessibility. The process is they submit a preliminary plat to the Planning and Zoning Committee. That was reviewed and approved. It comes to the City Council as a preliminary plat. You all have the opportunity to review it and approve it. Then they go back and finalize it. They resubmit it again to Planning and Zoning as a final plat. Once P&Z approves that, it will come to you again one more time as the final plat. And so this is an opportunity to review what they've proposed, see if we have any questions, if we want to make any suggested changes. But I will say state law is severely limited what we can do in terms of these proposed plats. As long as they meet our requirements, it's our duty basically to just approve them. So staff has reviewed it. We've presented it to P&Z. Staff is recommending approval of this preliminary plat.
So before I open a public hearing, are there any questions from the council?
Molly, is there a circle that's supposed to show up on the map? There we go.
Boom. Seeing that there are no questions, at 6:07, I open the public hearing. Is there anybody here that's in support of or in opposition to and wishes to address the council? Seeing that there are none, it is 6:08, and I close this public hearing. 2, and a portion of the property ID 127762, legal description A0913 Riley 1 W Track 15-1A, acres 43.787, also in A0388.
Mayor, Council, Howdy Lisenby, City Manager. This is another subdivision, but this one is actually located within the city limits. As you'll recall, several months ago, we were presented with a planned development, and so we rezoned this area to a PD, or a planned development, that included the development standards. And so part of the process is they're taking this property. We should have a circle on this one as well. And it is subdividing a portion of their proposed development. The full development is approximately 270 residential lots. Phase 1 is approximately 110. And so it will start where Charity Road meets Bus Barn Road. It'll travel to the east, and then basically a new street will follow that tree line up and connect to East Sterling Heart, approximately where that tree line connects. You will notice that contractors have already started this week moving dirt and starting that development. And so this preliminary plat just lays out the streets, it lays out the lots and the lot dimensions, and they have also complied with all of the requirements of our subdivision ordinance. This was reviewed by the Planning and Zoning Commission and was approved. It is now before you as a preliminary plat. Once again, this will follow the same process. You review the preliminary plat, they go make it a final plat, it goes back through Planning and Zoning, and then we'll return to you most likely next month. Staff is recommending approval of the preliminary plat.
So before I open for a public hearing, do we have any questions from the council? There being no questions, it is 6:10, and I open the public hearing. Is there anybody here that wishes to address the council in support of or opposition to this item on the agenda?
Thank you, Mayor, Council. Sam Satterwhite, Engineering Concepts and Design, 201 Winfield Circle, Riley, Texas. I'm available to answer any questions.
Okay, thank you. Any questions?
Just excited.
We're glad you're here. All
Thank
right.
you.
If there are no others, it is 6:11, and I close this public hearing. Do I have a motion to approve?
Move that we approve the preliminary plat as presented.
Second.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, like sign. Motion carries. Thank you very much. Item 8, second reading, consideration and possible action on an ordinance amending Chapter 90, Traffic and Vehicles, subsections 90-101, Code of Ordinance of the Commerce, Texas, to amend the official traffic parking map and the official traffic no parking map to designate a no parking zone on the west side of Harlow Street, beginning at the intersection of Harlow Street and Mangum Street and continuing south to the intersection of Harlow Street and Charity Road, and providing a penalty and providing for an effective date.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. As the mayor said, this is a no parking ordinance on the west side of Harlow Street to provide better access for emergency vehicles and residents going in and out of that neighborhood. We conducted our study over the last few months, and we recommend the council approve it. There's been no changes since the first reading. If you have any questions, that answer.
Any questions from the council? Thank you, Chief. Do I have a motion to approve the ordinance as read?
Motion that we approve on second reading.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, like sign. Motion
Mayor,
carries.
I will say, during the first reading, there was some question about a future move on
Sycamore.
Sycamore. We've been reviewing that. We should have something ready for your review next month.
So
Go ahead, yeah.
I'll touch a little bit on that. When we go into the streets and study them, we try to look at multiple things. The way parking sets now, where the problem is, does it need to be one side or both sides, no parking, and how that, when we push that parking off those streets, how it's gonna affect those side streets. When we reviewed Sycamore, we had everything ready and had everything ready to present to council. One of the officers brought up a point regarding two houses on the corner with the, in their, available parking. That slowed us down, and it caused us to miss the deadline. We have gone back and looked at that. We do have another question that we really need to address, but we're ready next month to present everything, I think, is what it's about.
Okay. All right, thank you. Any other questions for the chief?
So people who live on that street, I asked you this last time, I think, will have to get, will they get the sticker if they're gonna park on the
So,
street?
that's one of the things we look at. Sycamore Street, when they park down there, and if you get down to where the new duplexes are going in, some of the things that we take into consideration is, what's that gonna do if we have 20 cars parked there? If we have 20 cars parked in that area, that street is a good wide street, I'm gonna guess 25 feet, maybe 30, it's a good street. But when cars park on both sides, it gets really narrow really quick, and that is a major thoroughfare in and out of the Norris community. What we've kind of come up with is that what we're planning on presenting to council is that not being an option, but we're gonna have to look at making a case-by-case basis. We understand that when people come in and have like a baby shower or a birthday party or something like that, there's gonna be times and special circumstances where they're gonna have to park there. That kind of thing, we try to work with the residents and make everything work for them as long as it's not a burden. The sticker, program kind of goes into streets where there's no other option. They don't have any other.
Just one more thing on that, Chris. Further west, excuse me, further west on Sycamore, it tapers down. And it's a problem on that end as well. Let's say Sycamore and Earl. In that area, it gets to a point to where it makes it a bicycle lane, pretty much. So are we looking at the whole aspect of Sycamore?
That's our plan at this time.
Okay,
We don't want to do any, I hate to say spot zoning, but we're trying
Exactly.
to figure out those few residents where there is a problem. Most of the residents on that street have side parking on their houses or back parking. There's a couple that don't. We're trying to figure out how we're gonna address that, and that may be the sticker. We're not sure what we're gonna do in those few instances. But we were out there again today talking about it and drove by that house. We'll figure it out, but that was a holdup. We thought we had everything, and we debated west side, east side, whole street. Then we got it worked out.
How do the residents on that street know that they can come to the police department and get a temporary waiver for some sort of gathering?
My guess is, based on past experience, very few. We're trying to get that out, and also trying to tell them, we're trying to figure out a way to do it. I think social media, now that we have a social media intern that can push that out, that kind of stuff is stuff that she can help us with. Basically, the only way we've been able to do it in the past is just word of mouth. When we tell them, and usually it comes in when there's an instance they have a party and we get a phone call and we go out and talk to them. It's not an ideal situation, but I think posting on social media and trying to put it out there will probably help.
is there a consideration maybe of putting something on the residences themselves prior to you putting in the no parking signs that says, hey, these no parking signs are coming in, and these are the alternatives that you have?
Jamie's working on a change to our water bill. I don't know, there's been some changes in what the post office will let us do on the mail outs to certain areas, and I believe now we have to do it all zip code, anyway, there's some changes on that. But with the water bill changes, it's gonna, as I understand it, it's gonna allow us more room on those areas. I don't know what the new system will allow us to center it by blocks, or, you know, if it could be the whole town, or how we would address that, but we're hoping that avenue will give us a way to get the word out quicker.
We'll also look at door hangers.
Yeah. That's what I thought.
All right. Item number 9, second reading, discussion and possible action on an ordinance of the City of Commerce, Texas, amending the Code of Ordinances of the city by amending Chapter 10, Animals, Article 3, Rabies Controlled, Section 10-56B, adoption of a State Rabies Control Act, administration of article of the Code of Ordinance of the City of Commerce is hereby amended to be and read as follows, with all other sections and subsections not expressly amended hereto to remain in full force and effect.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. This is some simple housekeeping. In years past, the rabies and animal shelter was under the direction of community development. A number of years ago, it moved to the police department. At that time, this ordinance escaped us, and we did not move the rabies control to the police department when the, actually, animal control became part of us. This is just amending that and moving it back to the police department.
Okay. Do we have a motion to approve the ordinance?
I move that we approve the ordinance as written, second reading.
Second?
Second.
Thank you. All in favor say aye.
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 All opposed, like the sign. Motion carries. Thank you very much. Item 10, council comments. Thank you, Chief. The purpose of this section is to allow each council member the opportunity to provide general updates and/or comments to fellow council members, the public, and/or staff on any issues or future events. So we'll start with Councilman Henry.
Just a couple of things. Just to let everybody know that the Unity in the Community gathering is next Saturday. Starts at 2 o'clock. Looking to have a great time, and everyone's invited. It's at Ivory Park here in town, 2 o'clock next Saturday. Also, just a big thumbs up and thank you to city manager and staff for everything that you guys do over the weekend. It's a good feeling as a citizen of the community, as an elected official, to know that I don't have to worry about getting phone calls about something getting done. They're already ahead of it. So thank you. And that's all I have.
All right. Councilman Mueller.
I'm going to pass mine because you were going to address it in yours on the water.
Okay.
I'll let you do that.
I'll do that then. I would like to also say thank you, take this opportunity to say thank you to the Commerce Water Department. It's been a rough couple of weeks, but thanks to your efforts, long hours, ingenuity, and sheer determination, the water situation in Commerce is turning around. Thanks to Ian Gibson's quick assessment of the situation, the 911 call was made and the Commerce Fire Department was able to do what they do so well. And the results were a fire containment and no damage to any businesses or personal properties. Thank you, Ian Gibson, for recognizing the potentially severe situation which generated the 911 call and the fire department response. Thank you publicly, Ian Gibson. Councilman Thompson.
I don't have anything at this time.
Okay. Councilman Ayers. All right. All right. Thank you very much. Let's move on to item 11 on the agenda, City Manager's Report.
Mayor, Council, there were no public comments, and so I'm going to invite our Finance Director to give the finance update.
Calendar of upcoming events and meetings.
So I'm just going to remind the council that the city released a request for proposals from banks, and that opportunity closes July 29th. I believe it's at 4 o'clock. We will review proposals, and at the August council meeting, the council will select who will receive the award of contract for bank depository services for the city. So just a reminder, we let you all know about that last month. Just a reminder again this month, we've touched base with Alliance Bank and several other local banks, Cypress Bank, Guarantee. So that will, we'll make that selection next month. And then a final reminder as well that the budget workshop for the city council, the public of course is also invited, will take place August 1st. That is an all-day workshop where you all will spend your day with our finance director and city manager reviewing the proposed budget for fiscal year 2023.
Before we leave that, though, there is the possibility Stephanie has a jury summons and will most
We're
likely
working on
be
it.
out.
We're working on it to get out of it.
And Tony has a work commitment, so we potentially have 2 of our council members that will be absent for that workshop day. So Mayor, if that turns out, would you want to proceed with 3 council members, or would you want to reschedule?
I would want to reschedule.
We can do that.
I want everybody to get to play.
I figured you did.
We were kind of hoping Stephanie wouldn't be here to
I
ask
know
all the
you
hard
did.
questions, but I mean, we'll
That's okay.
We'll do whatever you need to do.
I talked to the judge today.
Some other upcoming events, as a reminder, we have the Farmers Market every Saturday from May all the way through September 24th, Bodark Bash weekend. That is every Saturday, located at 1100 Bonham Alley, right over here. And they go from about 8 a.m. till noon, so if you haven't stopped by, we encourage you to. You can see our social media pages, our Facebook and our Instagram, and see some of the great products that they're offering at our Farmers Market. Reminder of this event that is upcoming, the Recycling Fund Drive. It's a great opportunity for you to get rid of old appliances, and you can do this Saturday, July 23rd. The location's there. We've shared this to our social media, and we will continue to do so. And then finally, right now, we still have registration for about 1 more week going on through.
A job with the city of Caddo Mill as their city secretary. And so Friday will be Becky's last day with us. And so we're having a small retirement party for her here in the council chambers at 4 p.m. So you're all invited if you want to come and wish Becky well. But we just want to publicly thank her for 21 years of service to our community is noteworthy, and she's done a good job. Additionally, it's indirectly related to personnel. The Boys and Girls Club will be making a more formal announcement soon, but they applied for a grant with the Heisman Foundation, and they were awarded a grant for $37,500 that will be spent on our youth sports programs. Most of that will be spent on staffing, so that our youth sports are a little more fluid and the logistics are handled better. But they were able to receive some funding from a national agency that goes directly to our youth sports, and so we're thankful for that. Then related to project updates, as we mentioned earlier, if you want to take a quick trip down Bus Barn Road, about where Charity Road meets the Farm to Market Road there to the east, you will notice that the contractors for Bloomfield Homes have started moving dirt. There's a substantial amount of work that's going on there. And yes, we know they're using water. It is an important part of the construction process. And so no, they are not stealing water. They're buying the water from us. Yes, we know we're asking people to conserve water at this time, but when you have commercial businesses that need water for their business, we sell it to them. So yes, we're aware they're using water. They have permission and they're paying for it. It's not lost. Additionally, the water treatment plant filter rehab project, Heritage Contractors came for their pre-construction meeting. They'll be starting next week to mobilize and start the process of rehabbing all 6 filters at the water treatment plant. That is very timely for us because if you've noticed any of the conversations we've had on social media, we have and continue to be in a little bit of a water demand and water supply concern. We're currently producing as much water as the community is using, But until this past weekend, it was touch and go, and there would be days where the community was using more water than we produced, and then there would be days where we produced more water. Because of the efforts of our staff over the weekend, working all night, they were able to make some emergency improvements to the water treatment plant. It has increased production, and as of today, we are producing more water than prepared to meet that demand. On the playgrounds, the contractor's back in town. They have assured me that they will have Ivory Moore completed before the event on the 30th. And so you will see the playground at Ivory Moore completed with all of the ground coverings. And then they're looking to go ahead and finish the ground covering at City Park as well within that approximate time frame. So those projects are wrapping up. The same contractor that's doing the groundwork for the playgrounds is the contractor that will begin the groundwork on the splash pads. So when they finish the playgrounds, we should see them move over and start breaking ground for the splash pad that's located at City Park. And then finally, an update on our street construction projects. We're on pace to have the design completed, and we should be bidding out construction work this fall to begin work on the streets that we've identified. Hopefully that will include the utility replacement on Washington Street. It is our intent by the end of next spring or early summer of next year, we'll have 4 of our street construction projects completed. And so we're looking forward to see the headache that comes with street construction. Yes, it's inconvenient while the construction is happening, but it's so nice when it's over. And so those projects are moving forward. And finally, under just some intergovernmental, we continue to work with the school on the projects they have for their middle school and their sports complex, and those projects are continuing to move forward well for their benefit as well. And we'll be happy to answer any questions that you may have.
Any questions for the city manager from the council? All right, thank you very much.
Okay.
Council, we do have need to recess into executive session tonight. So pursuant to the Open Meetings Act, Chapter 551, Texas Government Code, the City Council will recess into executive session to discuss the following: 551.074, to deliberate the appointment, employment, evaluation, reassignment duties, discipline, or dismissal of a public official or okay. It is 7:37, and we reconvene back into our city council meeting. Do we have any other business that we need to take care of? I would like to recognize our guest. Well, you've already met him. I haven't met him. So please, Ian, come up here. Hi there. So tell us about your day that day. Well, I'd like to come down and shake your hand and just say thank you personally. And I would like to get a picture. Very So can I have a motion to reconvene into open session?
I move that we move back into open session, please.
Have a second?
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, like sign. With there being nothing more to discuss tonight, do I have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second.
All right. We adjourn at 7:39.